Valheim is a multiplayer crafting survival game based on Viking mythology where you play a fallen Viking in the afterlife. Your goal is to please the Allfather and earn your way into Valhalla by defeating Odin's enemies. And while the game is super fun, one of my personal favorites actually, it's a bit lacking in the self-explanation category. So this will be a quick start guide for anyone looking to figure the game out without taking the time to watch full tutorials on it. If, however, after watching this basic breakdown, you'd like more information or to go deeper into it, I will have links to my other Valheim tutorials in the description field and pinned comment below. And with all that being said, here's a crash course, Valheim, 10 minutes or less. Timer starts now. After creating your character, you'll have the option to create a new world or join an existing one. If you create a new world and intend on inviting others to it, choose the Start Server option. If it's only going to be you though, leave it unchecked. To join a world, click the tab above. Now you can join a public server listed or type in the address of a specific server below. You'll begin your journey at the world spawn. If you choose to fly here, some of the map will be uncovered from your flight. This option is skippable in settings though. This also happens to be the location where you'll hang the trophies of the different bosses you'll defeat from each biome. Doing so will unlock new superpowers for you called Forsaken Powers. Each boss of the game will unlock a different specific power. You can only have one power active at a time. This is the place where you'll choose which power you want to load, simply by interacting with the boss trophy hanging on each stone. The location of each boss can be found by discovering and interacting with these small rune stones called Vegvasirs. The Vegvasir for the first boss can always be found at the world spawn. So as soon as you land, read the stone, and it will show you the location of Eikthyr, the first boss, the boss of the meadows. If you explore directly behind these stones, you'll typically find mushrooms and berries, which are 2 of the 3 food buffs you could have going at one time. Each food type in the game will give you specific bonuses to your stats, mainly just health and stamina, but other options will become available in the future. You can see your current food buffs in the bottom left corner next to your health bar. At the bottom middle of the screen is your stamina bar. Performing actions like sprinting, jumping, or attacking will drain a percentage of your stamina. Once your stamina is depleted, you will not be able to perform any actions that require stamina. That means no sprinting, no jumping, or attacking until it regenerates, which happens automatically once you stop taking action. Stamina will regenerate while walking. You can increase both your health and stamina by eating food. Hovering over a food type will tell you how much health and stamina you'll receive by consuming it. You can only have 3 different buffs going at any one time, and they must all be different. That is to say, you cannot have 2 mushroom buffs going at one time unless they are 2 different types of mushrooms. It is important to note that the food buffs will degrade over time until they reach 0. Once they're halfway depleted, the buff will begin to flash. At this point, you can refresh it by eating some of the same food again if you wish. That will scrap any remaining time you had on it, but guarantee you the maximum effect possible. Alternatively, you could replace it with a different food type and therefore a different buff simply by eating something different. Your first objective is to collect sticks and stones, as well as exploring the area for more food types like honey, as an example, as well as new resources. Discovering new resources by looting them can and usually will unlock new crafting recipes. Wood can be found loosely on the ground, but you can also punch saplings to get it. You will need to create an axe though in order to damage fully grown trees. Once you have an axe, trees will be the primary method of collecting wood. Once you've collected 5 wood and 4 stone, open your inventory and you'll find a basic crafting screen on the right hand side. Create a stone axe. This will allow you to fell trees to collect wood and is also an effective weapon. You will also want to gather enough supplies to create a hammer. That would be 3 more wood and 2 more stone. This will allow you to build, craft, and repair structures. You have a mini-map in the top right corner at all times, but you can access a larger version of the map at any time by pressing your map button, which is defaulted to M on keyboard or the view/select button on a controller. This map will update itself as you explore. If playing multiplayer, you can allow others to see your location on the map at any time by clicking the option in the bottom right corner. You can also mark the map with any symbols you see on the bottom right of the map. Simply click them and click anywhere you want on the map, and it will drop a pin with that marker and allow you to name it. Naming is optional. During your travels, you will come across ruins. These are buildings left behind from warriors of the past. You can repair these buildings for personal use or destroy them for their supplies using a hammer. When you destroy ruins, you'll receive only a percentage of the supplies used to create it. But when you destroy something built by yourself or another player, you'll receive all the supplies that went into building it. You will lose nothing. This makes rearranging mistakes simple and harmless. In order to quickly destroy a structure and gain access to its resources, aim at the target to highlight it and click the middle mouse button, or right bumper on controller, while the hammer is equipped. To create a crafting table, right-click the mouse button, or press A on the controller, in order to bring up your crafting options. There are tabs across the top to filter out the items by their purpose. Hovering over an item will display the supplies needed to create that item at the bottom of the screen. As long as you have a crafting table within range, a hammer in your hand, and the supplies needed for the item, you can select it, and then a blueprint will appear in the world. Move this blueprint around to the location you'd like to build it, rotate it to its preferred facing, and then apply it by pressing the left mouse button or right trigger on controller. Also, in the build menu is a picture of a hammer. You'll use this to repair any structures that are within range of the crafting table. It costs nothing but a little stamina to repair them. You technically own any structure that you have a crafting table near, as long as another player has not placed down a ward in the area. Once you have a structure built, it will need a roof. The roof tiles are found in the build option of the hammer. Floors are not considered roofs as far as the game's concerned. You will need to actually use roof tiles in order for the game to recognize it is a roof. You will also want to create a bed and interact with it to set a new spawn point should you die. You can also use the bed anytime after 3 p.m. to sleep the night away and wake the next morning. There is no time limit in the game, and you can take as long as you'd like to play or complete the game. Once you have an enclosed space with a roof, you can place a crafting table down indoors and you'll access new build options in the table itself. This is where you'll get most of your armor and weapons from, as well as where you will upgrade them, at least initially. You can upgrade the crafting table itself and nearly all other stations in the game by building the upgrades found to the right of the crafting table, displayed with a star. Upgrading the table will often unlock even more items. The crafting table is also where you can repair your item for free by pressing the repair button on the left side of the crafting window. Repairing your equipment is free, you just need to access the proper table for the gear and repeatedly press the repair button until all items have been restored to new. Hunting the animals in the area will provide the supplies needed to craft your initial gear. Craft a bow, arrows, leather armor, a cloak, and a wooden shield. You can choose the color of the shield with the style button in the crafting window. You will be awarded a buff commonly referred to as a rested buff when you spend at least 20 seconds uninterrupted relaxing near a campfire. The rested buff will double the regeneration rate of your health and increase your stamina regeneration by 300% while it persists. The duration of the buff is determined by the comfort rating of the shelter. Being in a shelter near a fire will add to the maximum duration of the buff, as will having furnishings in the shelter. Use the hammer to create a rug or a chair from the furnishings tab to get you started. All active buffs and debuffs are displayed in the top right corner of your screen. Your character will learn new skills as you progress. These skills are leveled up by performing said skill. So to level your archery, you'll want to use your bow to attack and kill animals and creatures. Using a sword as a weapon will level your sword skill, and so on. When you die, a tombstone will be dropped on the ground containing all of your belongings. This tombstone is impervious to damage and will wait until all of the items have been retrieved from it, at which time it will self-destruct and despawn from the world. As far as combat, if you have a shield equipped, you can try blocking any attack by holding the right mouse button or left trigger on a controller. If you can time the block to the moment of impact, you'll succeed in parrying the attack, which will allow you to absorb a larger amount of damage than you otherwise could, and typically stuns your opponent for a short amount of time. Attacks while your opponent is stunned result in critical damage. To do an evasive roll, move in any direction while holding down block and press the jump key. This is a great way to avoid massive and dangerous attacks. You can do a standard attack by pressing the left mouse button or right trigger on controller, but most weapons have a slower yet far more powerful special attack accessed by pressing the middle mouse button or right bumper. When it comes time to kill a boss, you'll need to find and gather specific items to be used to summon them. The first boss, Eikthyr, requires 2 deer trophies. Place them in your action bar at the top of the screen, walk up to the Forsaken Stone at the center of the boss spawner, and press the action button containing the trophies. This will consume the trophies and start your boss fight with Eikthyr. When a boss is summoned in the world, it remains in the world until it's defeated. After defeating the first boss, you'll receive the Antler. Take this to a crafting table and you'll be given the option to create a pick. With this pick, you'll now be able to mine stone, as well as copper and tin, which will be found in the next biome, the Black Forest. Copper is found randomly throughout the zone. You can recognize copper veins by their golden channels peering out from certain large boulders. Tin can be found on the shorelines of any Black Forest. You'll also want to locate the dungeons in the Black Forest called burial chambers. They'll be guarded both inside and outside by skeletons. Be prepared for a challenge. Inside these burial chambers, though, you'll find red glowing cubes called Sterling cores. Once you've collected 10 Sterling cores, build a kiln and a smelter. The kiln will help you make coal for the smelter will make metal ingots from the ore you find to use in crafting. Next, create a forge. This will allow you to make bronze, as well as most of the metal armor and weapons in the game. The equipment choices from this point will explode. Congratulations, you now know all you need to know to get started in Valheim. If this video helped you out, help it out by clicking the like button. I appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you soon.